Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. I'm here multitasking. I just got a page of art from Renzo just as we were going live, and my eyes are split. So I got to concentrate. So how you doing, Ernie? I'm here with Ernie Altbacker, and we just found out that we were in the same college at the same time, and probably bumped into each other a few times at the local bars.
Yeah. Well, I was there. I used their track to jog, and yeah, I wasn't going. It was after I graduated, but I lived very close to Stony Brook, and yeah, and you're a fellow Ronkonkomanian,
Yeah, well, yeah,
Ronkonkomanian.
yeah. I grew up in Nassau County. Uh, and then while I went to Stony Brook University, I lived in Nassau County, and I just remember I was living in the dorms, and we would throw a big party every Thursday night. It was just huge, and it was like $5 cover at the door. We would buy kegs and everything, and I would DJ. I was playing all like punk and whatever. Then so it was just an insane party, and then Friday night would come, everybody would go home because everybody at Stony Brook lived in Long Island.
Yeah.
So they would go, so it was and I was like, I didn't go away to college to go home on the weekends, So literally Friday, Saturday, and then, Sunday, there was like nothing to do. So me and a couple of friends started playing Dungeons and Dragons. So we went from Thursday night keg parties, freaking people going nuts, come home from class on Friday, clean up the place, play Dungeons and Dragons till Sunday night. So we were like nerds and the party. It was really weird. It was a fun time. And I mean, at one point we had like 18. I was the DM, and we had like 18 people. And then I gradually changed it to Villains Vigilantes, my superhero game. I don't know if you've watched my channel. That's the game that I champion. And that was it. That was. And as I was telling Ernie, I just got into partying so much. I was like, this is a waste of money. It's fun, but I transferred out to University of New Mexico, and that's where I graduated from. So 2 years Stony Brook, 2 years University of New Mexico.
Yeah, that's a good dichotomy of places.
Yeah, I as you can attest to, New York gets the worst of both worlds. We get the hot, humid, oppressive summer, and we get the ice cold blizzard winters. So I was just like, I can't deal with the winters anymore. So I was like, the first warm university that accepts me, University of New Mexico, they overnight expressed me all the paperwork. So I was like, they want me.
Yeah. I mean, Long Island, I love it. For the 3 months of the summer, it's one of the best places in the world to live, or it used to be anyway, because one way you could go to the Hamptons, you could go take a boat to like Fire Island, party over there, or you go right and you go into Manhattan, and Manhattan just had everything. I could go see the Ramones. At small little clubs and stuff.
Yep.
You could go to CBGB's. It was so fun, and you didn't have to drive. You just get on the subway, and at that point, you could bring a 6-pack on the subway with you. So even the ride was fun.
Right, and where you lived, you could just hop on Long Island Railroad, go right to the city.
Ronkonkoma, yeah.
You could hop on the
St. James. Yeah, St. James had a spot right there. Yeah,
and you could hop on the Hampton Jitney and take the bus all the way to the Hamptons. So literally, you could arrive drunk, you could go home drunk, and avoid Billy Joel driving around shit-faced on the island, crashing into everybody.
I mean, God, that he would have grazed me a couple of times. I'm just sure, and I invested that money then. I'm sure he would have paid me off. But,
that was a joke, like in the 90s. Is beware Billy Joel. Billy Joel lives around here. He's going to be crashing into you.
I remember.
It's funny. We'll get to your stuff in 1 second, but everybody's like, John, like you almost seem like the Forrest Gump, because like you this guy, you kind of brushed it. I'm like, grow up in New York. It's everybody in New York has stories of meeting everybody. Like if my buddy John, as much as I'm into comics and role playing games, he's into music. He knows like every musician, because everybody comes to New York. Like if my buddy Laura, she's into art. She knows all the artists and everything because it's New York. You know, I'm sorry for people who grew up in Mesquite, Illinois. It's hard to meet everybody, but you know, I met all the comic book people. Because it's New York, but now with all the remote, it's all over the place. I think those days are over. But anyway, how you doing, Ernie? And I'm sorry, you were messaging me, but I wasn't getting your messages.
No, I was messaging somebody else. I don't know what just happened with my ex. Usually, it's like the person that you talk to latest would be on the top, and I just figured, oh, okay, I just sent him something 5 hours ago. That was the only time I was there.
Yeah, I saw you on Dave Brink. We got Dave over here. How you doing? Dave Brink's comics. They're the best superhero comics out there.
Right. So I sent Dave Brink a bunch of stuff, or Kyle Prometheus. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, and you're on Kyle Prometheus. Kyle's a good buddy of mine. He did my intros. You know, everybody in this indie space has been so helpful, and I could shout out everybody for the next hour of everybody who's helpful to my channel. And so then he was like, oh, I tried to, and then I look, you know how X has messages and then they have like hidden messages.
Yeah.
I never look there because it's always people pretending to be women telling me I'm gorgeous. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I saw your profile. Right. So I was like, oh, okay, here you are. You're a real person.
I just ticked that box today while I was waiting around for the show. I'm like, well, let me try and solve this problem. But I didn't solve it. But I did find the thing that says, let all messages through, because sometimes I've missed things.
Yeah, a couple of people got upset with me. And I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. Anybody who's watching this now in the future, if you message me, I promise if I see the message, I will respond. I'm not that big of a guy that I can afford to miss messages. You know what I mean? So I spend a good amount of time responding to anybody, whether it's, well, not the chat. The chat is hard to respond to, but in the comments, you email me, you direct message me. I respond to everybody if I get the message. So give me the consideration that maybe I just didn't see your message. A couple of people get nasty, and I apologize. Hey, Bat Sauce, how you doing? I think your comic just went out. Dave, I know your comic went out, but you're going across the ocean, so I hope you get it. John Zero, the hero. Dave's the first worst, and I'm second best. And Bat Sauce is unfortunately the Hairy Prince. I have no idea what you're talking about, but let's take it in the spirit of fun. Zach 10, I get my blessing. All right. I switched over to chats that are phasing out DMs. Yes. I think there's bugs. Okay, you sent Dave the links instead of me. Okay, all right, we're all caught up. So, let's see. You got too much coffee. I wake up sleepy as all get out. Chug a lot of coffee, and now it's kicking in. So, you got a campaign open on Kickstarter, correct?
Well, we're taking late pledges, but we ended successfully. It's a thing called Area 51 Studios, and that's issue number 2. And it's all about everything you think you know about Area 51 is wrong. It's basically a studio where aliens come to shoot cheap galactic reality.
Oh, that's a pretty funny twist on. So is this a humor? Forgive me, I don't know this comic. Usually I know my stuff.
No, it's totally fine. I mean, look, it's an indie. It's kind of, if I was to describe it, I'd say it's like Seth Rogen's The Studio, or for the older of us, Larry Sanders Show meets Men in Black. So it's all like kind of my Hollywood experiences, but now I've substituted the real people for aliens, but and heightened the situations. But a lot of this stuff, a lot of the backstabbing and stuff is true. The comic is kind of fantastical. It's a Douglas Adamsy.
You know, it's funny because this image that you sent me, the first thing I thought of was Douglas Adams.
Exactly. I had actually written a novella a long time ago about it. And then I decided, man, I got to get some of this stuff out there. And people have been telling me for a long time, since I write those DC animated movies, a lot of superhero stuff. that you should make a comic. And I'm like, yeah, I want to make this comic. So I met an artist at Josh White at Comic-Con 2 years ago, and he was amenable to going down the road. We kind of did it as a side project at first, but then it became a front project, and so we plan on having a 4-issue adaptation of the novella and then putting that into a 100-page trade or graphic novel by the end of next year. So the third campaign will be in February, and then the fourth will be in June, I believe.
Cool.
So we're gonna try and get stuff out. I mean, so I guess you can get the digital, and if you're in the United States, you can still technically order issue number 2 or the digital. We have some late rewards that you can still do if you want to. We make all different types of mistakes. At first, it was our first Kickstarter, first comic. We made all this like rookie mistakes. So this time we've made different mistakes. And one of them was not putting up a catch-up in the late pledges. So you can only get number 1 from our regular site, which is area51comic.com, no / So that
you got to have a catch-up tier because comic book people are prickly pears,
Yeah, no, they want to. It's like, what happened in the first one, And I'm like, yeah, that would have been really good to think.
Yeah, I put my Hero Tales number 2, and the guy who built it for me, without saying anything, he put a catch-up tier of 1 and 2, and he goes, "Trust me." And I was like, "No, yeah, absolutely." But I didn't think of it because I'm thinking of my second issue. Luckily, I had a veteran working with me.
Yeah, but we're about to mail it out. Oh, actually, it's about to go to the printers, I think early next week.
Oh, good for you.
So issue 2 is, I'd like it to get out by Christmas or something, but we'll see how fast the printers can get it back to us, and then we gotta fulfill it, obviously. But
are you fulfilling yourself?
Yeah, we're fulfilling ourselves. We're gonna get some. I think we're going to give away some stickers. The stickers from the first one were kind of fun. So if you happen to want a catch up and you're in the United States and you get a print tier, if you leave a note on the thing saying #stickers or something, #John's Lawn Box, we'll make sure you get stickers too. So there you go.
Imagine if we actually got inside Area 51 and all we found was a note saying "fooled you by the government." Well, I will say this: I was just telling Ernie, I went to University of New Mexico in Albuquerque, and my friend came to visit, and he said, "Let's go to Area 51." So we drove down to the very large array, the telescopes. He's a
right,
a space nerd, and then we drove to Area 51. And there's signs that say Area 51, and there's fences, and it's in the middle of the desert. There's nothing there. And then there's fences and there's government signs. And we pull up, and it says, "Warning, you will be shot if you proceed past this." So we were like, this is good enough. This is good enough. We got pictures by the fences, and then left. So there is an Area 51.
I've always wondered, like, in this day and age, would they shoot you?
There's a fence. I'm sure if I climbed over this barbed wire fence with tools and everything like that, I don't know.
Would they just come out and just beat the crap out of you and cuff you, or would they just shoot you like no warning? You're over it, bam, right in the head. I don't know. I
don't know, but I can confirm that the place does physically exist. And my other buddy, his brother-in-law is an airplane engineer. He designs aerospace engineer.
Right.
No longer works for the government. He works for the private firm now, but he has these non-disclosure, and he says to me, because I was telling him that story, and he goes, I can tell you this, Area 51 exists. You can confirm that. You've been there. He goes, and it's a government facility, and we fly experimental aircraft over it. He goes, we build stuff. We got to test it. That's why we test it. He goes, back in the 50s, there was nobody there. So it was perfect. You know, he was talking about those mirrored airplanes that were supposed to reflect their, he goes, they turned out to glow in the dark. They reflected the lights. Everybody thought they were flying. And he was going through all the airplanes. He goes, when you report to the government that you saw a UFO, he goes, that gets to Area 51. And that's like, okay, this camouflage technique didn't work. This didn't work. He goes, that's counted in as part of the testing criteria. He goes, they're unidentified flying objects. He goes, are they from Jupiter? No, they're us. We build experimental aircraft, and he goes, now we fly them over Mexico because there's less people with cell phones. There's less this. He goes, but they still see them by eye. He goes, but that's all it is. He goes, let me tell you this stuff that you saw in Star Wars, we have. He goes, I've designed it, but I can't talk about it. So that's the closest I've ever got to what's inside Area 51, except you know the inside scoop because it's in your comic.
Exactly. We figured it out. I mean, this is our theory based on extensive research and a dream I had once. So, you know, there you go. If anybody knows any Area 51 like sites or clubs that I could pass this on to, please hit me up and one of my socials. I'm the only Ernie Altbacker in the United States.
Oh wow!
So X, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. That's about it. I'm not going to be dancing on Twitter and stuff. Too old. Can't do it. Yeah.
So you have your full-time job or your day job, wherever you write the DC animated movies?
Yeah, I've gotten to. I mean, I write cartoons and kid shows. I write a lot of different things. Like the last couple of, let's say the last 3 credits that I have are Weather Hunters, a PBS preschool show, Aztec Batman, which is Warner Brothers Animation and Chatrone doing a reimagining of Batman in the Aztec world at the height of the Aztec Empire, and a movie about a live action feature about 2 bumbling private detectives called, title's not mine, Dicks.
Oh, okay. that was drawn. Who's the artist on that?
No, that was a live action movie. It's a low budget movie. So those are my movie things. Okay. The artist on Aztec Batman, which you'll see on the internet, there's some really cool designs, is Jose Mazaleon, and he was the director of such cartoons. This is his first movie. He directed things you've heard of, like Harley Quinn. Okay. And Rick and Morty, Final Space, regular show.
Okay.
He's doing the new President Curtis, which is the Rick and Morty spinoff. So he's a pretty talented person. Yeah.
Cool. I've been hearing there's like a lot of controversy back and forth about that Aztec Batman. I haven't seen it yet, so I got to watch it.
Oh yeah, you can. I mean, a lot of it's wrong. I can tell you some of the heat that we got first was like, they're replacing Batman. This is an Elseworlds, right? So it's basically, how would a Batman and their cast of villains rise organically because of the historical time when Cortez came into the New World and started and trying to conquer it for his king, basically. So, and there was one review that was awesome. I thought it was so funny. Other people were not. But they go. What was it? It's like the title of it is something like "Woke Warner Brothers turns Batman into baby sacrificing Aztec cannibal." And I was like, that's less nuanced than I was going for, but punchy headline, right? That's kind of funny. It actually opened up in Mexico. This was a straight to video thing,
Right.
but it got a theatrical release in Mexico, and I was thinking, oh, what are you going to put it in, 10 or 20 theaters? They put it in 500 theaters.
Wow.
It's like a month ago. And it finished 10th out of all films, live action included, and it finished number 3 in per screen average. So it ran for like 3 weeks. The second week it was in 460 theaters, and then the third, I think they have that number. But it did pretty well. I think they might have a theatrical in Brazil now. It's very
well. I know the I work with Renzo and Oscar, two Mexicans, and they're very, Oscar's very into Mayan mythology, and he's recommended Mayan because we were talking about mythology, and I really don't know Aztec and Mayan mythology.
Yeah, they're two different things, but they share a lot of similarities.
So they've been bringing me up to speed, and now I want to make a comic based in it. And Oscar keeps making fun of me. He's like, because that's such a gringo idea. I was like, give me time. let me. But my buddy Carl's father was an archaeologist, and he met his wife in Guatemala, and that's where I grew up with all of these Aztec and Mayan statues, and they're terrifying. So I was always scared of Aztecs. I was always scared of Mayans as a kid, but all of these monstrous things, but it's cool. I haven't seen the movie yet. I got to check it out. There's always controversy, but I don't weigh in on it until I actually see the movie. So good for you for writing it and whatever.
How refreshing. If you're a Batman completist or Batman fan, I think you'll like this. But we'll see. I've gotten, some people say I've ruined their childhood from changing the ending of Batman Hush. But most people love that adaptation.
Well, they changed the ending to the Watchmen movie, and I think the movie has a better ending than Alan Moore, and I'm the biggest Alan Moore stan you could possibly.
I know find. You can't think up everything. Sometimes yourself you have a blindness. Certainly, that ending makes way more sense.
Yes, I could talk for 2 hours about how I think that ending ties it all together better. It makes it logical that Dr. Manhattan has to leave. It just shows you that Ozymandias thought of everything, crossed all his T's, dotted his I's, and took out the most powerful being in a way that makes sense logically. I thought it was brilliant. Like I always thought the squid, I understand what he was going for. It does make sense. We have an existential threat. Everybody has to get, but the Dr. Manhattan ties it together better.
And then you get that, you get that great ending with Rorschach,
right?
Where that thing's going to come later. Like, read the slush pile, whatever.
Zach Dan has a brilliant idea. Here you go for your follow-up. Area 51 is really a hidden U.S. state, possibly in another world, a different dimension or hidden realm like Avalon. The site is just the first step to get there. Oh man, Zach Tan.
Well, I do a lot of bigger on the inside. Like he goes down into this little shack and just goes down in the elevator, just like, shows this tremendous underground facility. And there's aliens of all sorts and stuff, So, but yeah.
Creative Welshman who lives in Wales says, in Wales we have our own Roswell, but we call it Pembrokeshire. People have seen UFOs out there in the sea, but it never exploded. I got to say, as much as I've never, to this day, I'm still mad that I lived in New Mexico and I didn't go down to Roswell. I'm so mad. I should have went when my friend was in town. That's what I get for actually. I was working and going to school at the time, and I was too much of a good student to miss work and miss school to go. He went to Roswell in my car because I had to go to class.
You? You were too much of a goody goody to go one weekend. Come
I
on.
know, I know. I'm still mad. I'm still mad.
I mean, yeah, I've got to get there now. If this becomes a thing or something, because I mean, I do work for Amazon and Netflix and stuff, or they kind of know me. So when I get this graphic novel put together and the story will be complete, you could read it in one sitting, then I think I'll be able to go pitch them, to make it maybe a 6 or an 8 episode show, or a low budget animated movie. There's independent financing out there, so that's kind of the long range plan. But I'm just having fun doing it with Josh. The great thing is you do one of these movies that I've done, Justice League Dark, Teen Titans, the Judas Contract, things like that, Injustice. There's a lot of people around that you got to go, oh, well, like Wonder Woman wouldn't do that, or we really need to include this scene, right? It's not all me. With Josh and I doing this comic, and I'm sure you know this too, the great thing is if it makes you laugh, it's in. Like there's no big discussion, right? It's like
Ernie, you said you made your career making like humorous comic. I got to give you credit because I tried to write humor, and there's nothing worse than bad humor. It's all timing, and I can't do it. I'm trying now to work on a humorous comic with a tremendous talent, and I'm so intimidated, and I keep scrapping everything, man. So I got to give you credit. To actually write humor, especially in a comic book, and have it to be funny, I applaud that. That is amazing.
I will see what I can do. But yeah, that's one of the highest compliments that I'd gotten was this is a funny comic book, like a laugh out loud comic book. And it's the combination of Josh's visuals. We made him like really simple, something like an Archer-esque style. So it wouldn't be like, oh no, you can't animate that. It's like Miyazaki. It would be too tough. You'd never get it all, right? And then with this, it was like, you know what? This is a lot faster, and I can do all the work. So I saw your comic, and you have like the letterer and the colorist and stuff. Josh does everything by himself.
Yeah.
So I just have to deal with one person, which is basically the speed I can handle. Like I was not the internet generation. This is
I think the comic, the less amount of people that work on a comic to me is the more pure it is. So when you get somebody like a Frank Miller or Fabrizio Aiello who does Horace H. Hoover, who literally does everything, to me that's the purest comic. But I can't draw, I can't color.
Neither can I.
I'm looking at black and white art right now that Renzo just sent me, and now that I'm making my own comics, I'm trying to imagine it colored, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. And then Oscar colors it, and it blows away anything. So everything is a skill. Everything is its own skill, and I'm
definitely true.
I'm barely a writer, so I got a compliment. I'm working with somebody else in one of their comics, and they told me I was the most professional comic book person ever. And they work with pros because everything he gave me times, deadlines, everything, and I produced it way early. So I'm proud of that. But it was mostly out of intimidation. I'm like, I'm going to be in a comic book with Bill Willingham. I got to get my crap together. So,
well, that's what you want to do. Yeah, exactly. Very good.
Yeah, Roswell. Yes, it has a festival every year. You could go down to the Roswell Festival. It's their biggest tourist thing. My wife and I are going to go to Albuquerque because I want to show her where I lived for 7 years and get the food, and we'll drive down to Roswell. We gotta. Maybe I'll see you there. We'll make a habit of being in the same place at the same time, but not seeing each other. Just like the park bench in Stony Brook.
Yeah, no, I want to go to that festival. I wonder if they allow somebody to set up a booth to sell a comic.
That's a good idea. That is a really good idea because Area 51 merchandise and at the Roswell is a booming. People go. I don't know if you've seen the movie Paul. You said Seth Rogen. That's my favorite Seth Rogen movie.
That's a great movie. Yeah.
They do have a festival every year, and people come from all over the world. UFO. So go there, set up a booth with your. At the very least, you're going to get some great tamales and everything down there. So,
yeah. I mean, I do have to check into that. I mean,
really good idea. I mean, I'm not even joking. But I back to your comic. I meander a lot, and I apologize.
No, that's fine.
I just like talking to people, but I really do like the premise of this comic. It is in your world. Let me see if I got this right. Area 51 is a real place. There's really aliens there, but the aliens are using it as outsourcing cheap location to make movies.
Yeah, it's like if we go down to Mexico to shoot.
Perfect. That itself is funny. That is a funny premise. So there you go. Comes from that.
So they go down there. I mean, it's kind of a backwater, so it's a lot cheaper for them to shoot their kind of reality shows, their going shows, and it's kind of I'm positing that all the science fiction is kind of real, right? That like Bradbury or Heinlein, like Starship Troopers happened someplace. We've just made the human version of it. Star Wars happened someplace. We made the human version of it. Some people are in on it, like a George Lucas or Steven Spielberg. They know, right?
So in your comic book, I love this concept, by the way. I really do. The more you sell it on me, the more so somewhere in space, there really is the real Darth Vader, but he's probably more alien. We just interpreted him as a more human shit. That is a really cool idea.
There's this story of a Skywalker versus Darth Vader, and it was his it was his father, right? But they were like squids. And then someone here, like my enterprising producer, Zephril Boone, said, that'll be really great. Let me get someone.
Yeah, let's turn it into humans. We got to sell it to a human audience.
Right. Yeah. So they'll do it. And then some of our stuff is good enough that the aliens rip it off. They go, oh, that's pretty good. Crisis on Infinite Earths. All right. Well, someone thought that up. Yeah, let's do it in our version, of like praying mantises, right? Like superheroes.
When Marlon Brando was approached to play Kal-El in Superman, he objected. He said, he's a space alien. We don't know what space aliens actually look like. For all we know, Kal-El could look like a talking suitcase that makes beep noises. So there you go. What if Marlon Brando really did know what the Kryptonians look like? They were just suitcases.
It's true. That make beep noises. You know what? Yeah. So we're having a lot of fun making. I mean, in that one, that was kind of a concept panel of him walking through. He's the silhouette. Him walking through some of the various stages. So in that first one, that's the set of an alien monster movie. The second one is the set of some sort of planetary weather disaster, and the third one is Gladiator, but for trolls, right? And then the fourth one is some apocalyptic scene on an alien planet, right? And you just like going past them. It's different rooms. They have this kind of shielding, so all that stuff stays in there. The atmosphere that those actors need, the gravity that they need, like that big monster. That's an actor, right? At the end, he's like, if I don't get my contract perks, I will walk from this set. I was in the Royal Squid Theater.
Where's the craft services?
Exactly. It's like, where are my fish?
Yeah, that's a funny premise. I really like it, and I really like the colors.
He really does this like cool. I mean, I don't know if they're primary colors or pastels. I'm not an artist.
Right. Unfortunately,
but I know what I like. I think there's some pages on there if you.
Yeah, we got some dialogue.
Yeah. So, all right, check that second panel. That second panel out.
This one
is the death of Supergirl, but aliens are doing it on Crisis.
Okay.
no, right? So, but if you go down a little bit more past the reviews, David Brin read my comic and liked it. By the way, little more. And here's like a panel. So he does this like coloring that I think is, really kind of fun. It's this guy talking with egg people. They want to go out, right? You need a bodysuit, a human bodysuit to go visit the Earthlings. And this is how the secrets get out and the stories get out. And they're like, look, we're dressed for Mardi Gras. They got a feathery mask on. You can't see it that well, right? And they're like, he's like, no, that's not enough. You need an entire human bodysuit. You cannot go out as like an egg person. Like people will notice this.
I think it's such a funny premise. I really do. I think it's great. Now I got to say, are you going to put that these people aren't real lady, on that airplane? That MFer isn't real. Did she spot one of the aliens? You know who I'm talking about? Like,
yeah. yeah. That YouTube clip or whatever.
That woman. She's like, that MFer isn't real.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. No. Not like that. But I do everything. Well, in the novella, I put in everything that inspired me as growing up. Movies, television shows, board games, even books, obviously. And so a lot of the names of planets are actually authors or characters that I like, or they're word scrambles of those. So I think I just name an alien race the Orska-Ka, and that's for Orson Scott Card. Right. But so there's there's just a lot of hat tips to all the stuff that I've enjoyed throughout.
Sheldon wants to know, where do they shoot their adult films? They shoot those in Area 69. It's down the block.
That's not a bad call. But yes, there are also some of those. I'm not going to deal with those levels in the first maybe I should. What am I saying? I've already written issue number 3. Issue number 4. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe there's an adult level. That's an interesting thought. I did not. But yeah, so the alien. There's romance. There's pot boilers. They have their versions, right? Like I go in. When you see somebody watching the show that our producer is putting on, they're like, "Oh, this show sucks. Turn it to All My Larva instead," right? So instead of All My Children, obviously the praying mantises have all my wait. Sorry, they have All My Nymphs. Another one, they have All My Larva, right? So yeah, it's just kind of thinking like, what would aliens find? What would their cursing be, right? So plant aliens are like, that's such a load of carbon dioxide or CO2, because that's their waste.
Right.
So I don't know. I've kind of fun like thinking in there. I think if you have that kind of twisted sense of humor, if you're like a person that likes to go, oh, I know where that reference is coming from, then you really like this book, because there's a lot of stuff packed in there. It's a nerd. I made it to be a nerd's delight, and it's a funny comic book. I saw a lot of people were doing shoot 'em ups, and my one thing about some of the comics that I do get, I support them. Art's beautiful. It's really cool, but I zip through them so fast because they do action sequences and they don't talk that much. So we have our action sequences in there, but I wanted to talk and I wanted stuff to be going on in the background, So, so there's a lot of like on-set stuff that's going on in the background that we fill up.
It's funny that you said that, because I agree with you. far be it for me to argue with Mike Barron, a legend in the comp, but that's his pet peeve is people having soliloquies during a fight scene. And I say, it's a comic book, maybe not Spider-Man. Well, Spider-Man is a wise mouth, but Batman like giving a speech while throwing a punch at the Joker. No, but a caption, filling in some dialogue, but also each frame is not just a nanosecond. Each frame is the amount of time it needs to take to do that scene, So I agree with you. There could be talking, there could be dialogue during an action scene.
Oh no. I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if you have 20 pages of comic, right, and you get it, and there's like a 15-page fight, you're done in 5 minutes.
Right? Yeah, I agree with you. Put words in that comic book. Put words in it. Make it, especially the price of comic books these days. Make it worth your time.
It's called a comic book.
Right.
Two elements to it. So there should be illustrations, but the story should help the illustrations. The story should be of equal. The words should be of equal. That's one of our variant covers. That's Livio Ramondelli, who does art for Transformers for IDW. And so we basically do send-ups with our characters in the spot. But, so basically it's like there's my producer, ZB, and he's given notes on the day you're in a location shooting, which, you should read the script before you shoot. So he's reading it on the day of and changing shit. And his assistant finds that awful. And so he's like, oh man, let's do the Matrix, rooftop scene. I'm like, well, you're doing it. Yeah. But yeah, I love that.
Or you got a Star Wars. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, basically that's a Jedi one. That's also by Josh, who did the main cover. It's got a back cover where there's 2 more characters on it too. But yeah, so variant covers, they're definitely a thing,
I immediately when I saw this, and I'm your humorous background and Alien, my dark humor. This is why I can't write a humor book. It'll go too dark right away. But I was thinking of this scene, but it's got Harvey Weinstein's face on the blob, on the Jabba character instead of.
I mean, we actually have that is the character. He's kind of the frenemy producer to ZB, who's the Luke character in there. So he's the kind of they're working against them. They're working against each other behind their backs, stabbing each other in the back, and all the while smiling to their face when they meet in public. Oh, how you doing? And that the guy's production went bankrupt, and you're just like, oh,
you must meet some slimy people in your business.
I mean, there are, and that's the fun. There's a lot of great people.
Oh, I'm sure.
I think it's mostly great people, but the slimy ones are the ones you tell the stories about.
Right.
I mean, like that is the, those are the ones you never.
It's human nature to talk about the bad stuff,
Exactly.
Zach Tan has a good point. The nice thing about comics over books is that you can have visual gags and one can control the timing a bit with panel. Yeah, and that's really tough. So if Ernie here is getting laughs out of his comic, then man, I got to applaud that. That is a skill that I don't have yet. I would like to. I would like to do a humor book, but there's nothing worse in my case than putting out a humor book that's not funny. That is excruciating.
That would be bad. I mean, hey, you got to listen to your beta readers, right?
Yeah.
If they read that stuff, then you'll and they go, hey man, this is really funny. So I knew that the novella was funny. People were like, wow, I haven't laughed that much out loud while reading a book.
Yeah, I think I think I could write prose funny, but a comic book, no. So good for you, man. That is I'm gonna play your trailer. We only have 12 minutes left before I gotta leave for work. So we're gonna play your trailer. assume it's kid friendly and everything like that, right?
It is.
Yeah. All right.
It's
So
short too. I think it's a minute.
okay, here we go.
And
Cool.
there we go. Yeah.
So, oh, this is over, but it's late pledge. Oh man, I feel bad that I missed your campaign.
It's all right. I mean, we did not know of each other's existence, so I mean, we're probably, as I said, we're trying to get issue number 3 on rails to do in February, mid-February, I would think. So
Okay. Oh, come on back in February. You know, I'd love to help. You know, I'm of the opinion we need all types of comic books. Now, I mean, I'm a big superhero fan, but I would love to see humor comics. I'm going to try to make a quasi romance comic. I think, you know, war comics I don't want to do because those guys are such nitpicks. If I had the wrong bullet showing in the wrong panel, they're gonna let me have it. But you know, I love that. I want humor. I want romance. I want detective comics. I want superhero comics. I think it's weird that comic books are only superheroes these days. So I'm appreciating the indie sphere. We're getting a lot of fantasy, not a lot of humor. So you could be one of the pioneers in the humor genre.
we'll see. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
She was an Earth 9. Yeah. You were talking about your influences. Like, did you? I assume you grew up reading comic books. If you're writing, yeah. Did you ever read? I mentioned Alan Moore before, but he had a comic in I think it was 2000 ID called D.R.N. Quinch's Guide to Life.
No.
They were con men space aliens that just were like scheming and scamming throughout the galaxy, you know. And one of the things they do is they find alien Hollywood, and they convince everybody that they're movie producers, and they don't know what they're doing, and nobody wants to call them on it because they might be you know what I mean? You know, it's really hijinks happens, and they're just, you know, they
Who
put
knows?
the biggest
Wow.
bomb in the universe.
And great minds. That sounds, that sounds like kind of Alien Hollywood.
Right. And this was, geez, 50 years ago, you know. And
I know that's amazing. I mean, I'm basically saying that thing, the Area 51, what we call Area 51, was there 1,000 years ago. Okay, and we grew up around it. And how Area 51 was discovered was the Roswell incident. But what that actually was it was a student low budget film. They got scared and ran away, leaving their props, which
they didn't have any permits. Just like
exactly, they didn't have the permits, right? So they left a crashed spaceship and these 3 dummies that are so good, we think they're bodies, but really they're just props from a student film.
There you go. That's a great idea. Like Ed Wood, right? We don't have permits. Run. And they
exactly.
That's a funny premise. Yeah. I really like the idea that all of these sci-fi stories are real elsewhere, you know. And so what, like George Lucas would be brought in, or George Lucas stumbled into it, or like how would you know?
I mean, actually, who's to say George Lucas isn't wearing a human bodysuit and he is an alien? You know, so we are going to posit on that in issue 3 or so. Obviously, one of the our characters talk about is Star Trek and when they're blipped over into the show, it's called the human race, but it's really them stuck in a trailer park, like the Stephen King thing, where they're just like in the.
I really like this premise.
Yeah,
you got me thinking, like, Gene Roddenberry was a New York City police officer. What if he like stumbled upon like an illegal alien and that learned everything about Star Trek?
So there are some like human PAs in there, right? But they're just, they've got the technology that you just can't talk about it, right? But when they get to be friends, you got to remember, like ZB was friends with Shakespeare, right? Like he was at the opening of Hamlet, so he knows about all these things where he's got. Oh, I've got this backward race nobody really looks at, so they got some good stories, right? And so one of
he's a hipster slumming it,
he's the guy who goes out and films the original story on this planet. So he's filmed the Crusades, he's filmed the Black Plague, he's filmed the Battle of Midway, right? Like when there's some sort of historical thing going on, and who's to say he didn't nudge it in the directions that he needed to get.
It's not working out to make a good dramatic story. We
to get the ratings,
right.
It's like the Crusades were great. The Children's Crusades, didn't pull any numbers.
Right. As Zach Ted says, Hamlet was better in its original Klingon.
Exactly.
This it's a funny premise. I really do like it.
Well, thank you. I want you to be, talking it up. All right.
And I feel bad. I want you to come back in February with issue 3, and we could talk and get and have a catch up tier so everybody could get all 3 issues, and get caught up to speed. I always spoil stuff, but my comic book heroic tales, there's a character that he believes that he escaped from Plato's cave. Okay, so he escaped the world, or imagine in Plato we were only seeing reflections on the wall of a cave,
right?
And he escaped the ideal world to here to tell us things. So in his mind, all stories are real. So Shakespeare, I'm trying to think of Titania and Oberon are real beings because they existed in somebody's imagination, which is Plato's cave. So somewhere Superman exists, Star Wars exists in this. So it's a similar prep, but it's not funny because I'm not talented enough to be funny.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. You seem like a pretty personable guy, so I'm sure you can be funny also. But
World War I was good. Let's do it again with feeling. World War II.
There you go. It's like once more. Got to make it bigger though. How can we make it bigger? It needs a lead, like a good baddie.
Right. World War I was a good attempt, but the sequel needs a better character.
It needs better bad guy.
Man, there you go. There's issue 4. Let's hope that World War II, the movie, didn't do too well. Maybe it bombed.
He's been down. His budgets have been getting lower and lower. So now all he can marshal is a thing that he calls the human race. But it's 5 people and a trailer that's bigger on the inside. Oh. But people are just hanging around and it's like, what are we supposed to do there? It's like, just be. They're like, that sounds like a pretty crappy show, dude. It's like, hey man, when you go to the zoo and watch the monkeys, you don't get Shakespeare, but it's kind of funny when they throw their crap around, right? And it's like he's like, maybe I can get a 3 share out of that. He's not expecting too much, but then stuff happens.
Okay.
And it becomes a galactic hit, So
well, I got to get. I could talk about this for longer, but I got to go. My work shift is from 3 to 11. It's driving me nuts, but got to do it. So I got to get going. Is there anything you want to say that I didn't give you a chance to mention or talk about?
Yeah, I mean, like, look, if you want to follow me on X and Facebook are my main ones. At Ernie Altbacker, just how it's spelled on the thing. As I said, only Ernie Altbacker. If you have any questions about any of the movies or TV shows that I've done, happy to answer them if you ping me. And yeah, if you want to check out the book, it's at area51comic.com is our site. You can get issue number 1 there. And it will also lead you to the Kickstarter if you want. If you want to get in on issue 2, this is about the last week because we're going to send them off to the printers.
Cool.
So you can still get in under the wire. Once we do the load of printing, it's like that's it until 3. Then you can catch up, you know.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
if you just want to follow the project on Kickstarter early, you'll be able to get free stuff. We ran a sale the first day, the first 48 hours in when we were doing issue number 2. We're probably going to do one at least for the first 24 hours for issue 3. That was 20% off like everything. So if you're signed up, you'll know the day of that it goes on live. Number 3, that is. So there you go.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Unfortunately, life gets in the way of fun, and I got to leave for work. It's an hour commute, so I bid you all adieu. I don't know. I might stream tonight at midnight. I might not. We'll see what happens. But anyway, thanks a lot, Ernie.
You do 2-a-days?
Well, these days I normally streamed at 7:00, and I would stream like 4 days a week, and it was fine, and I was at my own pace. But now with this schedule, not a lot of people could come in at noon. So I give people a choice. You want to do noon or you want to do midnight? So sometimes they pick midnight because the time zones, it's easier for them. Sometimes noon. And then I'll go now 3 days with nobody, and then 2 people want to stream on the same day. You know what I mean? But I feel like I'm at their mercy now because my schedule is so bad. You know, I'm supposed to go back to a normal schedule in February, but that's what they said in November. So I'm in construction. So things are booming right now. So they got 3 shifts constantly. And
good.
I could ask for the day shift back, but you don't want to be the guy that complains, you know.
I get that.
And it is more money, so there is that. And there's no traffic, so I can zoom to work. And
that is fun.
You're a Long Islander. You driving to the airport on the LIE you might as well be in a parking lot.
Oh Lord, that's one thing. That's one thing I don't miss.
Nope.
I mean, and I said the 3 months out of the year, it is the best place. The other 9 months, the weather is kind of crap. You know, it's always like chilly in fall, and then it gets really cold. But the traffic, oh boy, you don't want to have to go.
Yeah, where I live right now, by Ronkonkoma, when I was a kid, it was horses, and there was no sidewalks. You know, it was going to the country. Now it's. You might as well be in Nassau County again. You know, there's traffic, Mill Country Road. My wife avoids it when she's coming home from work. It's like, this used to be the country, but everywhere is getting built up.
That's true.
So
is it like 25A still a single lane that everybody goes 65 miles?
25A is Middle Country Road. It's bumper to bumper traffic.
Oh, okay. So you can't, but when I was there, it was dangerous, and people were like trying to bicycle on it, and I'm like, you're out of your mind. People are going 60 miles an hour, half in the bag, 1 lane each way, no sidewalk.
You wouldn't recognize it then. I mean, there's like Chipotle on this side, there's Chick-fil-A on the other, and it's just it's like you're driving through Mineola now. You know, it's just packed 3-lane highway.
I was there early too. But all right, well, thanks a lot for having me on.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Come back in February, man. We'll talk about this live. I feel bad that I missed your campaign.
No problem. All right.
Goodbye, everybody. See you. I got to get to work. Bye-bye.
Bye.